I'm just finishing up my supper, which was a baked sweet potato and chichi beans. I mean, how sad is this? I didn't cook today. I'm like so sick of it. Tonight is RC Moore Q&A. Honey, where are you? This could take a month. It could take a week. We don't know. So most likely I don't know.
Hi everybody.
You need the computer.
Huh?
You need the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
All right, I'll be back.
So I'm gonna hang tight, everybody. You ready, honey?
Born ready. Late. Ah, my gosh. Hi everyone. How are you guys doing today?
So Clayton gathered up all the questions that were sent to us, and we are going to answer them for you tonight.
Yeah. First question. Linda in Long Island, where we celebrate your birthday, you know.
Yeah.
And she says, question, what are both your backgrounds and how did you guys meet?
Well,
you want me to answer
I'm
that?
African and Clayton's Italian.
That could be so too, you know. You could be from South Africa too.
It could be.
You could be from South Africa.
Go
and
ahead,
I could
honey, you go first.
Nah, you go first.
My hubby is from Trinidad and
Oh
Tobago.
my goodness.
He's from the large island of Trinidad and a little town called Marabella. And he grew up over there. I didn't even know he existed until 2004. And but their culture is really great, and I love being over there, and I love eating all the great food. Go ahead, honey. Tell them about the piano instrument.
Oh, okay. A lot of people probably don't know, but until they probably do research, and you know, people will say that those the steel drums and stuff, we call it the steel pan. It comes from China, but no. It was made one of the main instruments that was of the 20th century or 21st.
I don't know. It's your country.
No, what century were we in?
What's the 20th, I guess.
21st.
21st.
Yeah. Of the 21st century, one of the instruments that was invented. It's called the steel pan. You know, it has the steel drums, and there's the tenor pan, which is the small one with a lot of notes, and then the big bass drum, so you know it's bass. You know, and it's really kind of orchestrated in the sense of it's not like just beating up drums, just beating drums and stuff. They use a stick with a rubber band on the end.
It's sort of a xylophone. It reminds you of a xylophone.
Yeah, but inside of a drum, a pan.
Yeah.
And the difference in the tenor is when the tenors are smaller and they're round.
And the bigger they get, the lower they get. But I have to tell you all something. My husband was called the Calypso King.
Ah, no.
My husband can sing.
No, he can't.
Yes.
That guy didn't come out to work today.
I don't like disco. I don't like jazz. I like Calypso.
They would be laughing.
My husband's the Calypso singer, and he sings very, very well. In fact, when we first got together, I'm like, well, you could sing, you could dance. We're okay. We can have a relationship now.
Yeah, because she plays the piano beyond other instruments and stuff, you know. So Trinidad is and Tobago is a little twin islands of the Caribbean. It's the last in the chain of Caribbean islands. If you go all the way down the Caribbean islands, there's Barbados is the most easterly island in the Caribbean, and we are the last two, right there close to South America, like 5 miles away from South America, which is Venezuela. And so that's the question to Linda from Long Island. All right, so we move on now to Jenny from Pennsylvania. She says, how do you guys work together? Do you fight or get along?
You know how Bernie Mac used to say, we humbug. Well, we humbug. We do. Bad.
Ding, ding.
He hums and I bug. Yeah, well, sometimes we go 13 rounds. One time he said to me, honey. No, he didn't say honey. Rosalind, don't touch me. And I went over to him and I went, I mean, we're bad. We're bad. But you know what? To the day I die, I never want to be without him. So.
Same here.
Yeah. Arguing to the death.
Yeah.
Bite him in the neck. The secret to A good relationship, I feel, is one of you, at least one of you, have to have a sense of humor, or it's not going to work. Because let me tell you, when he gets mad, he is quite funny. He is funny.
So you laugh at me when I'm mad?
Behind your back.
I know that, you know.
Well, you should, after all these years.
You know what? I plead the fifth.
And the sixth, and the seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th. No, we do. We fight. But I love working with Clayton. Clayton knows, he could read my mind before I say something. How many times have we gone somewhere and we both say the same thing?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Well, we'll go to a store, we'll pick out the same item, you know. So he is my everything, and I argue with him, and I you know, you have to have arguments to make your life passionate. We're both very passionate people, but you know.
And it works. We complement each other with the business too.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, because it's like I could stay away from the kitchen. I have to. Best cook in America.
I told you about him making me some fish.
Best cook in America.
He made me one piece of fish.
My wife is the artist and I'm the business part of it.
Yes.
Because I could articulate with contracts and negotiations.
He negotiates well.
And find the places that we should be and where to put the shop, and you know. When
we go to find clothes and everything, he knows. You know, he does all the driving and
the heavy lifting.
The heavy lifting.
As usual. Makes no sense getting away from that.
And
so we complement each other with the business and stuff, but my wife is the genius artist that she is. But she amongst us was Clayton a good dresser when you met him?
Oh, hell no!
Oh, yes!
Let me tell you about it. Oh, no! Clayton,
yes!
One time he had a red, white, and blue houndstooth shirt on. Or was it a jacket? I don't know what it was, but it migrated to the garbage. I mean, I didn't even put it away. I just know. Oh, and then how about the sneaker suit? He had a top and a bottom. The top had a giant sneaker on it, like this big, with laces coming out. Like in case he forgot how to tie, he could practice on his shirt. And then the shorts had a matching sneaker on the side.
You must have a pair.
He looked so bad. Let me tell you something.
I used to live in Brooklyn that time. So.
Don't even make any excuses.
Remember linen suit?
Your linen suit. I call it the Jabba the Hutt suit because that's what he looked like after he got done sitting in it for a bit. Linen just wrinkles, you know. I mean, he knows me.
Because I used to dress for daughters too, you know.
I know, but you know my taste.
Yeah, I know your taste. Yeah,
I'm flashy. Yeah. Look at my caftan that I hang around the house has sparkle. I think that the way that you dress is how you feel.
David from New York says, what fashion ideas you have for men?
I love to see a man that looks sharp. I don't know if any of you remember the commercial that the spot on the shirt was doing all the talking, because, you know, if somebody comes up to you with a spot on their shirt, that's all you're looking at. I'm sorry, but if a man approaches a woman to ask her for a date looking like he just crawled out from underneath the car from fixing it, how is he going to come and pick me up for the date? So I'm like, no. I would suggest for a man, you don't have to have a whole lot of money. Be clean, be neat. You think Tim Gunn is one of the most fashionable men I've ever seen. I think he is the epitome of class. I love everything he says. I love everything he does. I think he's just wonderful. And he has a style that is very classic. He wears suits a lot, but I have seen him in jeans and a leather jacket, and he looks just as classy and wonderful. And you also have to look at proportion and fit, okay? You see the suits that Conan wears on late night TV? Well, if you're 6'7" and you're 310 pounds, those suits don't look good on you. So you have to do what is good for your body. It's all about proportion and fit. And so you just have to, and if you don't know and you don't trust yourself, you call me. I'm a fashion stylist. I'll help you.
Don't call your husband.
Oh, please don't. He'll put you in a pair of sneakers. No.
Oh my God, you're funny.
No, you're funny. You're funny. You're real funny.
Oh my God. We have Anastasia from Hoboken, New Jersey.
Yay.
What fashion advice would you give to a plus-size woman?
I am a plus-size woman, and so as a plus-size woman, I think the most important thing are your undergarments. A smooth fit is the best fit, no matter what size you are. You want to, don't dress in a tent. Just because you're a large person doesn't mean you have no figure or you shouldn't be proud of yourself. You need clothes that are going to fit you properly. They need to be the right size. If you are, say, a size 16, 18, don't put on a 2 and 3X and look like Omar the tent maker. You don't need that. You don't want to hide. You want to embellish and accentuate all the positive things of yourself. And so I think if you have clothing that fits well, just right, that you don't have to tug out and pull out all the time, I think that that's the most important thing. Do not hide. But like I said, underwear is the key. Garments. Okay. Underpinnings are number one.
Okay. All right, so that's Anastasia from Hoboken.
Thank you, Anastasia, for that.
Thank you, Anastasia. Number 5. Oh, Andre from France.
Ooh, oui, oui. I could say, il veut que vos pissons, which means it's raining cow piss. And you're welcome for that tidbit.
Andre from France says, is it easy to obtain vintage clothing in the U.S.?
It's easy to get vintage clothing. It's not easy to get good vintage clothing.
There you go.
Good meaning, not everything that's old is the most wonderful thing in the world. You have to discern what's usable, right, and what is not.
Right, because some people think that thrift is vintage.
Oh yeah.
So just difference between thrift and vintage clothing is well repaired, and it's well taken care of. You have a 100 and something year old garment and it's in pristine condition. That is vintage. That's not thrift.
Right. Yeah. And not only that, but the fringe that's made now is completely different than the fringe that was made in the 80s, 70s, 60s, whatever. All the fringe that we have on our garments is silk. So when the fringe moves, I mean, it just sways. It's beautiful. Now you buy something with fringe, it's just a mess in it. Next question.
All right, so that was Andre from France.
Thank you, Andre.
Carrie from Illinois. What does it take to own a vintage shop?
Started out, husband said, you know, oh, you make these cute little headband things. Next thing you know, I was making hats. Next thing you know, we owned a consignment shop. It's Goodbye Girls in Allentown. Then I turned it into a vintage shop because I started selling my clothing. And shortly after we moved in, I think it was like, let me see, 9 months after we moved in, we lost $40-some thousand in clothing because it flooded in the west end of Allentown. So yeah, it was bad, but it takes a lot to own the shop. So it's always on our mind, and we're still plugging it and trying to work it even through this pandemic. So it's hard. Yeah.
We just want to share our experiences with you guys. So please feel free to send questions and ask us about the struggles of owning a business.
Oh boy.
Yeah. All right. So that was Carrie from Illinois. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. So Roberto from New York. Who do you think is the best dressed male that you know?
Well, besides my husband, who I dress, I would say Tim Gunn is one of the best, and I love Sebastian Maniscalco's clothes. I don't know if anybody's seen him on Instagram or Netflix, huh?
Was he on Project One Runway?
No, he's a comedian and he's hysterical.
Oh, okay.
But I love the things that he wears, so I'm sure that his wife must pick them out. But yeah, he has some really cool things too. But there's a lot of really great dressers, you know, that are men, and I love all the dandies in New York. I mean, they're great, you know?
Everybody want to be so cut in here.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and I love to dress my husband up. When we went to Governor's Island, loved to dress him in a vest and everything, and he had suspenders, the vest, the pants, the bow tie, the boater. I mean, Clayton, you look so good.
Yeah.
And then I love to undress him when we come home.
All right. Okay. Dan is a drag queen from New York. I cannot find the right women's undergarments to achieve the shape I would like to have.
Other than eat tons of lasagna, I would say the majority of men, when you have, you know, a man's build, the majority of your weight is going to be in your stomach area and waist, you know, if you gain weight. So eating a lot won't help probably, but I would say get a good pair of Spanx that are a few sizes larger. And these are the Spanx that come down to the knee and come up high. And then you get carpet foam and you start cutting the carpet foam in ovals. And you stuff it down into your undergarment where you want to have the curves. And the more curves you want, the more you keep layering the carpet foam, which you're cutting in ovals. Okay? And you'll have a pretty nice butt and hip area. Nice and round. Mm-hmm.
All right. Crystal from New Jersey. If you had to pick one item on your website, what would it be?
Okay, so I've had this coyote jacket up there. It's white suede and it's a fringe jacket and has the head of a coyote on the back and has the paws in the front. I don't believe in cruelty to animals. This was a jacket from a shaman. His grandson had sold it to us. It was a ceremonial coat. They have a wonderful tradition, the Navajo tribe, well, so says the grandson, that when, I think it's the coyote, that is a sign of shame. And the elder would wear this coat when someone in the tribe has committed a crime. But then the whole tribe says wonderful things about this person. It's almost like you're shaming them into doing better because they're reminded of all the good that they've done or that they are, you know, which is a great thing. I have this coat. He was selling it and I purchased it.
Right.
I treat all my garments with respect, and we treat everyone with respect. It really is a beautiful statement piece, and I have a lot more to say on the subject, but I'll save it when I have the coat. I'll talk more about it.
Okay, this is Chantal from North Carolina. Why do you wear the things that you wear? Funky, bright, and unusual.
Because I'm funky, bright, and unusual. That's why. I had a very cool aunt. Her name was Aunt Frances. She lived in New York, and she wore crazy stuff. She was into fetish shoes. I mean, but she wore fetish shoes like to the office to work. They were so high, and she was just so avant-garde. And we would go through like the catalogs and everything. And every once in a while, my grandmother would buy me a glamour magazine or a Vogue or a Harper's Bazaar. Okay. My sister and I would pick clothes out, and my mother would try to, you know, take a pattern and embellish it and she made my sister a pair of hot pants with a long vest like Pam Grier. I mean, we were built so curvy. We didn't follow Twiggy. We followed Pam Grier. Dad used to take my mom to this fabric store. She's gonna die when I tell her. I think she just buy tons of fabric.
We
go home with it. Yeah, because she sewed all of our clothes. Well, we went to this one store. I don't even know where it was, but the whole place smelled of BO so bad. We'd be in there like, you know, and I'm like, Mom, can we go? Mom, can we go? Can we go? And, but yeah, and we'd have to actually air out the fabric and everything. Oh my gosh, it was like the most torturous trip. Back in the time where they had this little machine, they put the fabric through and it used to measure a yard. They didn't measure it this way. They put it through this little machine.
And it measured.
And it would measure, and they go, and then they clip it, blink, like that, and then they put the fabric down and they cut it. Yeah.
Wow. Never seen that.
I know, because I'm old as hell. That's
no, that's not seeing. No.
Artist Kepner's was a beautiful store. Artist, she hired my mother, and my mother modeled, and she was on the front page of the paper, and she helped so many people with clothes, and my mom was really, really good. She had a great sense of style, and I think that's what. Yeah, my mom knew how to tie a scarf 150 different ways, and she put things together and she would help them do the windows.
Katrina from Italy. Wow. What part of Italy did your parents and grandparents come from?
Aquila and Pescara, which is in the province of Abruzzi, which is north of Rome. My dad was from Hungary. I have purchased my grandmother's house in Berwick after, well, she was still living, but she was moving in with my aunt. So, and I found, I found papers and things from Transylvania, which is not even Transylvania anymore. I don't know what it is.
I think it's still in Transylvania.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure, but I think that's where.
Okay. CJ from Texas.
Howdy.
Where
Our daughter's down in Texas.
Huh?
Our daughter,
Sarah's down there. Where is Trinidad and Tobago, and do you speak the same as Jamaicans?
Hell no.
No, we don't.
Barbados, they talk
like Scottish.
Scottish, and then Jamaicans talk a little hard, but it's still very, very pretty. But it's just a harder. Yeah. It's like comparing maybe German and Dutch. You know,
because
Germans have a more hard, a hard way of speech, and Danish are just a little more softer. But everybody always says, "Are you from Jamaica?" I'm like, "No," because if you put all of them in a room, you would see the difference.
At least people have to see that in the sense of hear that. Sorry.
Right.
The Jamaicans are more northern than us, and we more southern, and
the food is great.
The food is great
in Trinidad.
Yeah, because it's a mixture of a lot of cultures together. We have the East Indians who came as indentured laborers, and I should say, Trinidad and Tobago is the most southerly isle in the Caribbean. You go all the way, circle down. It's right next to Venezuela, I was saying before, and the food is mixed because the East Indians again came as indentured laborers, and the Africans came as slaves, and the Syrians are there, and the Chinese are there. When I say Asians, I mean Asia, East Indian, everybody. The Syrians, the Lebanese, they used to bring the cloth on the bicycle to sell to my grandmother and stuff, and the Spanish are there because Columbus landed in 1492. He
landed everywhere. He was all over like horsemen.
so it's the most southern island.
Me and Clayton's mom used to cook a lot. We cooked a lot, and we had a lot of fun. One time, she came to our house in Berwick, and she said, "Rosie, I want to go to the grocery store because we're going to get stuff to make things." Okay. I spent like $300.
Yeah, she was a great.
She was like, "I want to try the deviled eggs, and I want to try that Jello, and I want to try this." We came up with all kinds of garbage, and she was just so funny.
Yeah, she never experienced
She was very, very funny. We had a lot of fun, me and Gloria, and we miss her.
Yeah.
It was 3 years now that she's gone.
Life, We all have passed that road.
Yeah.
Some before, and knock on wood, we're still here.
Yep.
Because I used to have fun in the kitchen.
I used to make her laugh like hell.
Yeah.
I used to make her laugh like.
And now you could make a lot of Caribbean food, like curry and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do make curry for Clayton. I do make stuff, but I can't make I can't use my tawa because we don't have a gas stove. And
Trinidad and Tobago, Trinidadians and Jamaicans are not the same, but we are the same in the Caribbean. So it's all one.
Was that our smoke alarm?
Yeah.
And I'm not smoking my cigar anymore.
Yeah, because smoke was in no trouble over there now.
Oh, wait.
No. That does nothing.
This is my little fan.
It does nothing.
Thank you to NFP Insurance for giving me a little fan because it's so great when you're going through menopause. It's wonderful. Okay.
Gail from Brooklyn. How many pieces of vintage clothing do you have in your closet? Too much. All right. Yes.
5,642. Well, not counting my shoes, which I have 233 pairs of heels. All my closet's vintage. The only thing I do not buy vintage is my exercise pants, underwear, bra, But
do you shop at our shop? You have 90% of vintage clothing.
Where do you do that? I shop at other people's shops too. I shop at our shop and other people's shop and anywhere that has vintage clothing. If it says vintage,
So let me ask you something. You pay for the items at our shop? Let's work to find out. I
pay you in kisses.
That's...
Shut up.
Okay, the last question now. Who is that? Last question.
Sarah from Philly.
Yeah.
How do you both pass the day? We get up in the morning. I get up first. Clayton's face looks like this. That's his face. I say to him, honey, good morning. So I make him a cup of tea, and then we have breakfast, and then we usually go for a walk. Then we, make lunch, and then we usually go to the shop. I'm usually repairing stuff and doing stuff, and after that, that's how the day goes. That's it. That's what we do. Do you have anything to add, honey? I play the piano. He sings.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah. He sings very well.
No, not so good like my wife. My wife could sing better than me 100 million times over.
And that's what we do. And we pack up packages if we have packages, or we make deliveries. Sometimes we'll go for a ride in the car. Our big outing is getting gas and alcohol. And so that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can you do? But, I count my blessings, and I think Clayton does too, and we enjoy being together. I'm glad that I'm quarantined with him.
What we do on the outside, like when we go out to do, is support small businesses like
we try
ourselves.
We can't right now, but we do. We always try to support small business. Always.
Yeah, always. And if you know anybody with a small business out there, guys, support them because
you're paying for their grandchildren.
Yeah.
You're paying for their children.
Yeah.
Small business
is everything.
Blood, yeah. So
all them vintage shops outside here, who are all over the country and all the little places, we hope that people go out and support them.
Right.
Just like how you guys have been supporting us, and we thank you very much.
Okay, well, tune in tomorrow at 7. And send us whatever questions you'd like us to answer.
Yeah.
We'll be glad to answer them to the best of our ability. We just like to sit here, chill out, and we just had supper. I enjoyed my cigar and have my drink, and now I'm going to relax. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow at 7. Okay?
Bye.
Bye-bye.